I'm Insomniac.
And I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit,
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
Alright, this is episode 46 of Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops. And today's topic is people who have had the biggest positive influence in your life, but not relatives. And that's from Matt Gunya.
Oh, right, Matt.
The guy whose last name I said wrong for the first 19 episodes when he suggested topics.
Good man.
Yep.
Matt's a good man. I didn't realize that was from you, Matt. Well, then you're going to love my intro, right?
Your intro? What? The intro already happened.
No, but he's going to love my intro into the first influential person in my life. Have I got the right guy, Matt?
Yeah.
We talked, me and Matt,
yeah.
You know, after our...
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Holy shit, yes.
So
the right guy.
So Matt is going to love my first and foremost...
You sure he's the right guy?
Yes. Most important for me, influence in my life, Jesus Christ. Period. My Lord and Savior. Period.
I'll second that. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah. Now, going on with this, years ago when Rob was literally, I don't know if you even had diapers initially. He was real small. We used to go to this church that's local in the neighborhood, and I really got close with this pastor. He was the second pastor that I sat under there because this guy Ray Wiggs was there first. He had married me and Rob's mom. But this second pastor, this guy Pastor Larry Martin, and his assistant pastor Gene, the Haitian guy, awesome guys, man. They influenced my life in wonderful ways. Pastor Larry, I mean, I had the last year of his tenure, I'll call it, there at the church where we were. The last year or more, I had gotten so close with him that we used to pray every single day together at the altar. Every day. We would spend an hour praying together. And, you know, he just, you know, told me great things, taught me great things. And Gene as well. Gene was like a preaching machine. They both preached well. And I was so blessed by these guys. And they took me under wing. And I was a mess back then. And they taught me. And also, this guy had so much confidence in me that he had me sometimes teaching on a Wednesday night and doing things. And so those two guys, you know, Gene and Pastor Larry were incredible. And then moving on from there was folks, again, these were mostly church folks that I'm going to bring up that influenced my life in a mighty, wonderful way. Next person I'll bring up is this woman, Sister Wells. She went on to be with the Lord many moons ago. Wow. This woman was from Florida. I mean, she was right on the cusp of slavery, for sure. That's, you know, how old she was.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah,
slavery
man.
was 150 years ago.
Well, I mean, she was, you know, like, you know, she but in the South, she was from the South.
Yeah, but that doesn't...
Well, right, she was...
Slavery didn't end later in the
I
South.
understand, but I'm making a point of, like, she remembers, like, when she was in the
Her
South.
Her parents...
Right,
there's a good chance that they were on the edge of slavery there.
But what I mean by that is she remembers, you know, she was in the South. She remembers black and white bathrooms and the whole. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, but that's not slavery. That was was segregation.
Okay. So we correct that.
She was way in there.
Right.
She was around when all of that
happened. This woman, she was amazing. Bottom line, this woman, truthful story.
No, either way, she's awesome.
Yeah, truthful really story awesome. About her, and I don't mean this to be a knock or negative. She was educationally ignorant. You know, I don't know if she got any education, but when it came to God and the Bible and the things of God, this woman was on point. And she really touched my life in a major way. And when she was dying, let me tell you a little something out here for all you folks listening. Some that may not believe in anything, hey, to each his own. When this woman was dying, she called me up to tell me she was going with Jesus, going to be with the Lord now. And she was happy and told me, he's here, I'm going. And he was there and she went. Well, you're out of your mind. She was delusional. No. This woman wasn't the type to drugs. She suffered to the end. She went home to be with the Lord, and I experienced it on the phone, broke into tears, had to give the phone to Mom, to my wife, and she was happy. Went on to be with God. To the very last moment, this woman touched my life with faith and courage. It was amazing. By the way, a Southern, again, let me stress, I don't know if I said she was black, a Southern black woman who I loved as much probably as my own mom. That's a true story.
You said Southern segregation and slavery. I'm pretty sure everyone got
it. Right, true. Right, so but she was wonderful.
Yeah, she was awesome.
And then there was a bunch of other mothers in the church, Sister Mother Moore and Volantes. Remember all the ladies? I used to have them all at my house, and we'd have coffee and cake and study the Bible. And these people touched my life. So that. Now, going on with this, I bring up my therapist, who is now retired, Dr. Scalamaro, who has been brought up a million times on this show. She's the next one. Oh my goodness.
We gotta have Dr. Scalamaro.
Yeah, we
here.
should. We gotta talk.
We won't be able to use profanity because I don't think she's a fan.
No.
But we should have her on here because she's just awesome.
Yes. Dr. Scalamaro is in here. Absolutely changed my life. She changed my life around in a whole nother way. Here he goes with the drink. You gotta have a drink now. We're talking about Dr. Scalamaro.
Well, I waited until we were done with the church ladies.
Jackass. Yeah, Doc Scalamaro, he's having a drink on you. But unbelievable.
Cheers.
You've heard me say this before, me and Rob. Incredible woman who helped me change and helped me heal my soul, so to speak, my thinking, which is still not all there. I'm working on it still. Wonderful woman. So she's in there. And so, these are the main influences that really influenced my life. That's them. I have to say, Dr. Scalamaro, wow. And let me throw one more in here. My lawyer for 20 years, Larry Carrison.
Wow, you would never hear somebody say their lawyer.
Larry Carrison. This guy's name's Larry Carrison.
Mr. Carrison's awesome.
An estate lawyer in Bloomfield. You ever need a lawyer and you're in New Jersey anywhere, in Bloomfield Center on the green, Larry Carrison, Brown and Carrison. I'm saying that. You'll never get a better estate lawyer, a fairer guy who will go to bat for you, do everything right. Amazing man. Want to throw him in there. So these are the people that influenced my life that weren't my dad or uncles or this, that, which I don't know if I would have, even if you said it, we could have said that if I would have talked about that, because that wouldn't have been exactly the case. But these people influenced and touched my life, and I loved every single one of them, loved them, and love every single one of them. Dr. Slamaro's still with us. Okay, so that's my side of the influence, and now that I went over that made me feel good. You're up.
What?
You're up.
Oh. Well, he took my one of my first ones, Dr. Scalamaro. In fact, that was like the only person I had on the list until about 5 minutes
Wow.
ago. Dr. Scalamaro, I don't have to go over all the stuff again. He just went through it. Awesome.
Amazing.
Just one of the best people I've ever met. And then my mother made an interesting point. She said Mr. Galanti, who you guys heard me bring up a couple of times on this channel, that was the teacher I had in elementary school who accidentally more or less influenced me in terms of smoking cigars. Now, he wasn't a positive influence or someone I look up to in terms of personality or life lessons or any of that. I didn't really know the guy. I was in grade school. But my mother made the interesting point that if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have wound up smoking cigars, which, you say is not a positive influence, but if I wouldn't have done all of that, we wouldn't have had the channel, we wouldn't even have this segment.
This is true.
So technically, he was a positive influence.
The guy was kind of a cool guy.
He was very cool.
He was a cool paisan. He was.
He was. Then there was one other teacher, and his name was Mr. Champaign, Craig Champaign. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. Mr. Champaign was probably the only teacher I think I've ever had that really meant more than just, being a teacher. This guy was one of the most, true and awesome people I ever met. He used to, every Friday, he used to tell the class a story. Something with, extreme moral...
you saying this,
something with, intense moral value to it. He would tell you this, long animated story, but each one of them had a life lesson and a value to it that really stuck with you. And this class had nothing to do with telling stories. It was something that he did out of the goodness of his own heart, because he really cared and wanted to make people, make the kids at that time, because we were all in high school, better people. And I can't actually think of anybody I know that had Mr. Champagne that doesn't remember his stories or wasn't impacted some way by those stories. And that's the kind of thing that, you don't get in school. It's not a part of the school experience. It was to the extent that I remember, if it was a Friday and he was telling a story, other people would come from other classes, basically ditch their class to try to sneak in and listen to him.
That's cool.
Tell a story. Cool. And he just genuinely cared about people. Really one of the best people I ever met in school all the way through college.
Teacher, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my senior year. I don't even remember what the hell he taught. That's amazing. I remember him in the stories, but I don't even remember the subject. Was it honors Brit Lit maybe?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Something, I don't know.
Probably
Anyway, awesome guy. My friend Nate Tricarico, I've known since we are about 6 years old. And I have to say, as much as sometimes he agitates me to some degree.
What friend doesn't?
He does. But it's not because he purposely agitates me. It's actually probably one of the reasons why I admire him. He's very opposite of me in a lot of ways. He's very calm, very collected. He's also very spiritually minded. He always has a kind word. He always has the positive outlook on it. But of course, sometimes if you're in a bad enough mood, the Mr. Bright Sunshine will piss you off sometimes when everything has a positive spin to it. Sometimes it's like, all right, let's get real for a minute. But I have to say, he really does his best to be encouraging and, be thoughtful, and he always looks for the right thing to say. And he's been a good friend for a lot of years. Me and him still lift and whatnot and hang out and have Mustangs. And, he's cool. I think that I did that photo shoot with him with the Mustangs. I think I might have put one of those pictures up at some point. I'll put one up here that Rosemary took.
Yep.
And then the only other person I could think of is actually Nathan Stewart.
Yes.
Who I finally met this year, and who I don't really have to ramble on and on about.
Good man.
Besides the fact that outside of the channel and stuff, him and I talk a lot, and he's helped me through a ton of stuff. He's an actual friend, not just, a patron.
Good man.
To a large degree. If you... what was I saying? Oh, yeah. On top of that...
Have another drink.
Yeah. On top of that, he is the biggest patron I have, and not just like he signed up on Patreon.
True.
I mean, the camera we're recording this with, he bought. And the tripod that it's on. And
tremendous man.
Most of the stuff that I use for the channel.
God bless you.
Probably 60% of the cigars that I review, total. I mean, blessing is an understatement. In fact, I didn't think the guy was real until I finally met him this year.
Yeah.
And you guys all saw that one picture that I posted on, just so you knew he was an actual person. I put it on my social media of me and Nathan Stewart out there in Churchill's. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. Who I met through this channel.
No question. Well,
that was...
I have one more to add to the end of my list. And believe me, it's not the least or the last. Probably just as important. Right up under my Lord and Savior. And that is my wife, who I've been with for 38 years. And
we'll let you throw her in there, but technically she don't count.
Well, can't be a relative. Well,
because she's not a blood relative, but she's married, so she's family, so she don't count.
All right, I'm sorry,
you
Matt.
Put it in there.
I'm sorry,
It's
Matt,
right.
but my wife has always been an inspiration to me. I don't know if she realizes that or not. Her faith, her her all wit to just hang in there. My wife belongs on the list. I forgot, right, the family. So we broke it a little there. So
all right. So then Rosemary, don't be offended. Sometimes I don't realize that we're not married yet.
Right, Rosemary.
Technically, I could throw her in there because we're not married yet, so she fits in the other category.
Definitely, Rosemary's a sweetheart.
She's beyond a sweetheart. I mean, that's one of the most influential people I have at this point. Period.
No question.
She's wonderful. More than a balance and a partner. I mean,
I couldn't leave my wife out of it. I had to break your rule a tiny bit because my wife.
She's the order to my chaos. She's fantastic. So that's good.
Same here. So this was a great topic, Matt. I went by it when we're looking at topics and went, really didn't take heavy thought till this week was coming up, and I didn't even look at the thing. I just remembered. So I guess I will believe that's a God thing, a God moment. I think this was meant to be talked about and brought up.
Speaking about talked about and brought up, you know how many times I get comments, besides the fact you haven't been answering nobody's comments?
Sorry, guys.
You know how many times I get comments asking why we're not smoking cigars while we do this?
I don't know about me smoke. Well, not that I haven't smoked cigars with him. I think I did a few episodes through the years, but think
about it. It takes about a half hour to film one of these. You'd have to smoke a half hour of a cigar. Leave it in the comments if Pop should be smoking cigars in these episodes.
Yeah,
We'll take the camera outside.
That's a tough one. Well, maybe, well, we'll see. So, yeah, Matt, thank you for this. Also, thank you, Matt. Matt had written me going back. He wrote me an email that touched my heart and blessed me. You're a blessing as a patron. And a blessing.
He's a great guy. He's got a lot going on, but he tries to take the time to really, put out for others, question. Which is great.
I mean, you wrote me, you extended your hand, the olive branch, and I won't forget that. You're somewhere across the country or whatever. And
what does an olive branch actually look like? Have you ever seen one?
I haven't, I guess. But either way, you know what I'm saying. And it's a good man here that requested this topic. I wish you were all close by. I'd like to have half these people on.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, chat, which isn't,
anybody who's smart isn't in this state.
Well, that's true.
So nobody's here.
It's true. The people we brought up today, though, were such a great influence. I'll end again on that note, stressing it. Really set my life on a great and better course, because God knows where I would have been, probably dead. True story. But I'm not. And these people changed my life. And I can't stress enough there with Dr. Scalamaro, what a incredible top shelf human being. Everybody I mentioned, top shelf human beings. Wow. Talk about God making incredible people. There was a list I just hit you with, and they were incredible, and are. Some are still alive, some aren't. Incredible people.
Now, we as in me really needs the support and the help, so you should sign up at the Patreon page. And as a side note, for everybody who's watching this once it becomes public, this episode has been out for a week already. Right. So if you want to see these episodes a week early, when my patrons get to see them, plus you want access to all kinds of other cool stuff, hit the link at the top of the video description and sign up at the Patreon page.
And keep giving us topics, because we're going to have people on still. But
right, leave the topics on Patreon under where I post this episode. Because obviously the only people who can suggest topics are patrons. That's another reason why you should probably sign up.
May break in here with my own topic once in a while, because we changed that. Because I have some thoughts, and you guys will love it, because I'll be saying a few explicitives, and this one was a toned down.
Explicitives.
Whatever the fuck that is. One curse.
He's not
Is that
drinking.
one curse?
Wow.
That's one curse. So this was a toned down episode. No, this is a very important episode for me, and I appreciate that it was suggested, and I appreciate the man that suggested it. So that's it, man. I enjoyed this. Thinking back, these people make me smile. They changed my life. This was good for me today. Thanks again, Matt.
Are we done with this episode?
We're done.
Whiskey.